Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namune Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatadine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Mukam Karoti Vachalam, Gayate Girim Yatkupatam Aham Vande, Shri Gurun Dinatarine, Hare Krishna. So today we'll see verse number 11 of chapter 10. So Krishna explained in the last verse that those devotees who are continuously devoted to him or who think of him, who talk about him, who preach about him, Nitya, always, to them Krishna told that I give the understanding, I give the intelligence, Buddhi Yoga, by which they can come to me. So how Krishna helps them, that is explained in this verse. So let us see this one. Tesham eva anukampartham.
Tesam evanukampartham
Aham ajnanajam tamaha.
aham ajnanajam tamaha
Nashayami atmabhavasto.
nasayami atmabhavastho
Jnanadipena bhasvata.
jnanadipena vashvata
Tesham eva anukampartham.
tesam evanukampartham
Aham ajnanajam tamaha.
aham ajnanajam tamaha
Nashayami atmabhavasto.
nasayami atmabhavastho
Jnanadipena bhasvata.
jnanadipena vashvata
Please chant.
Tesam ivanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nasayami atmabhavastho jnanadipena vashvatah
तेषाम् एवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता.
Thank you. So translation and purport. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their heart, destroy with shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Purport. When Lord Chaitanya was in Banaras, promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thousands of people were following him. Prakashananda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Banaras at that time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalist. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion, but even a devotee does not take advantage of their literature or of his spiritual master. If he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discriminating, one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they are without sufficient education, and even without sufficient knowledge of Vedic principle are still held by the Supreme God, as stated in these words. The Lord tells Arjuna that basically there is no possibility of understanding the Supreme Truth, the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by speculating for the Supreme Truth. For the Supreme Truth is so great that it is not possible to understand Him or achieve Him simply by making mental efforts. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, and if he is not lover of the Supreme Truth, he will never understand Krishna or the Supreme Truth. Only by devotional service is the Supreme Truth Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy, he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart. And with the presence of Krishna, who is just like sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. Due to the contamination of material association through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when he removes darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by Supreme Lord, one who is pleased by loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of teaching of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors. So again, this verse is representation of Krishna's love for his devotees, or how he reciprocates. So Krishna has previously told that his devotee will never perish. Yoga kshema vahamyaham. I will carry whatever necessary. I will preserve whatever he has, and I will give whatever is needed. That is Krishna's guarantee he has given before. So here we see that devotees who are constantly thinking about Krishna, constantly talking about Krishna, and trying to serve Krishna with love, without any personal motives. So how Krishna reciprocates? So here the example is given of darkness of ignorance. So in general terms, if we see, if we are saying in Tokyo or big cities, in the night time also, there is bright lights. But if you go out of Tokyo on some little remote area, you will see that there are no street lights and there is complete darkness. And if you don't have any light with you, then in that darkness we are lost. If you don't know that area and there is no light, we cannot reach the goal where we want to go. So what happens? The everything is there, but because we cannot see, we cannot reach to that place. And so what is this? This is called ignorance. Why this ignorance happened? Because of the darkness, complete darkness, and no possibility of light. But if you have some source of light, say for example our mobile phone also has the light. So if you have that light, you can reach to the goal. So the darkness of that ignorance, the ignorance that has come in front of our eyes because of the darkness, is removed by the light. So similarly, what happens when we are trying to do the bhakti and emotional service? We have to face double challenges. What are double challenges? The challenges which are coming to us from the external world, the gross world that we can see around Like the typhoon is a challenge. Too much rain is a challenge. Interacting with different devotees, interacting with different people is a challenge. Interacting with material energy is a challenge. So these are the external challenges, because of which we lose our focus. So now we are reading Bhagavad Gita, afterwards we sleep maybe. In the sleep, we may not remember that I have to apply or I have to leave Bhagavad Gita. So because of sleep, we go into temporary ignorance. But even after waking up tomorrow, if you have to go to office early, you get up and you get ready and just run for the office. So when you are running for the office and you are working in the office, we practically forget about Krishna. So what is that when we forget? That is actually ignorance. That we forget what we are supposed to do with our life, right? So this is external. So internal, what is internal challenges or internal ignorance? That is coming from our heart. The soul is in our heart, but we don't know it, right? We don't have realization of Atma, realization of Paramatma. Also, we don't know how many desires we have in our heart, how many things are there of which we have envy, or we are jealous, or we have anger. So many things are there within ourselves, within our mind, within our heart, and we don't know that. We come to know when only that situation comes in front of us. Right? So that is also a type of ignorance, because we don't know what's going inside us. So that is also a challenge. And because of, so if I am a person who gets quickly angry by some situation, then when I am in anger, I lose my intelligence. Krishna has told that from envy appears anger, and from anger, intelligence is lost. So because of my nature, I lose my intelligence. So there are so many things in this world that we don't know, and we cannot think of, or we cannot imagine also. So in such a situation, if a person, if a devotee continuously tries to think of Krishna, talk about him, preach about him, try to chant about him, try to do some service to him, then Krishna says, I take charge of that devotee. How I help him? With the knowledge, I remove his ignorance. Because I am in his heart, I give him the knowledge by which the ignorance is gone. And what is this? Anukampa artham. Tesham eva anukampa artham. So this is my special mercy to that devotee. So how Krishna helps? So even if we have, say, I'm an angry person, so if I'm really trying to be Krishna conscious and really trying to serve Krishna, then when the situation comes in which I get angry, then from internal, Krishna will give us the knowledge that in this situation, you are not supposed to get angry. So by the intelligence, we will analyze the situation in a different way. So that is the knowledge given by Krishna from within, from inside us. So what he does, he removes the ignorance of that situation, and with the knowledge, he gives us the intelligence how to analyze the situation and don't get carried away by the situation. So this is one example. So there are so many things in our day-to-day life that are happening which are beyond our control. But Krishna says that I help this devotee. And why I help? This is my special mercy. Because we cannot understand God. Because bhakti and Krishna is beyond this universe. So it's beyond the modes. So this knowledge also that Krishna gives from within is also beyond the modes. It's not a sattvic knowledge. it's a nirgun knowledge. It's a knowledge of the absolute. So it is beyond the gunas. So Krishna, by his special mercy, he helps that devotee. So in the childhood also, right, we used to hear our parents will tell us, you just do your work. Rest of the thing you depend on God. God will take care. So that teaching was actually very realistic. So in India, we are used to this way of thinking that when the situation goes out of control, we just depend on God. So this is a way of surrender. And the surrender souls, Krishna takes care. So we see that how Krishna helps the devotee to reach the ultimate goal of the life. So what devotee has to do? He has to surrender his body, mind, and activities to Krishna or Vishnu and serve him. Rest of the thing, Yoga Kshema Vahamyam. Krishna or Vishnu will take care. So that also needs a lot of surrender and dependence on the God and have faith and trust in the God's promise. So these 4 verses actually are very devotional verses which give special mention of the relationship between the devotee and the God and how they both are trying to help each other and so that they can achieve the goal. So this part, these 4 verses, 8, 9, 10, 11 are called the Chaturshloki. So in these 4 verses, we have the essence of all the Bhagavad Gita. So now, after hearing this, how Krishna helps the devotee, Arjuna will say something. Will conclude something that he has not done before this point in Bhagavad Gita. So that we'll see tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So any comments, any additions, any questions, any points? We have a few minutes. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.